The Mikey Williams situation is getting weirder by the day. Now, as many of you know, a ton of people have been wondering, where is Mikey Williams? Where has he been? He hasn't been playing in a ton of games for Vertical Prep. He's been sitting out. We see him on IG posting. Apparently, he's not injured, but everyone is begging and asking the question, where has this dude been? Why is he not hooping with the squad? And there's a ton of speculation going around. Now, number one, of course, everyone knows this by now. Mikey has the most clout in high school basketball, probably on his own out of any other hooper. Of course, people like Bronny got their name and really clout up from their father, and then really Mikey was the type of hooper to just get it on his own, came in the spotlight, of course played with Bronny James early on, and then really made a name for himself. He's definitely a celebrity at this point. Now, with celebrity and fame comes the money, and of course with the NIL deals, everyone is noticing Mikey is cashing out on the NIL deal. He's out here in Lambos, out here signing deals with Puma, even in commercials with Drake, and doing a ton of different stuff that a normal teenager his age in high school would have no idea what it's like to do. And of course, with the millions of Instagram followers, of course TikTok as well, as everything is going up, is it getting to his head? Is that why he's not playing for Vertical Prep? The truth will shock you. Now, of course, Mikey is doing all of these things, but a lot of people are pointing to the fact that he's sitting out to not get injured. And it's definitely one thing you have to think about. You don't want to play in games that are meaningless and then go out there and get injured and have to really forfeit maybe your future or some time that you could continue to work on your game and develop. But there's something that everyone is missing about this situation. We see what happens when people sit out and do not play in these games. Now, number one, your rankings can decrease. And of course, we know Mikey's probably not worried about rankings because he already has offers from a ton of other schools and is an established figure in the high school basketball scene. But the other issue with this is you always want to make sure that you're playing against the best competition. And there's something about being in games and playing live games that is different than just training and working in the gym. Now, R2B Ball, a lot of you guys saw, he gave an update that Mikey has just been training in the gym. He's not injured. He's just been working on his game, trying to get better. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we've seen over and over again, man, if you do not play in these games, you can get a little rusty. And look at the Kyrie Walker situation. Of course, again, we said Mikey's not worried about rankings, but Kyrie Walker sat out that senior year, did not play, and then trained, worked on his game, and he's having a tough time getting to the NBA. Of course, he's in the G League, he's doing his thing, but he is still working and struggling to get to the actual NBA. And just because you have a lot of followers and a lot of clout and you're the man in high school doesn't mean it's going to be the same thing once you get to college. Yeah, you may have the status, but Mikey's end goal is to get to the NBA. And if you're not playing in regular games, or at least games that really matter, showing why you're the best player in the country, then I think, in my opinion, that's a no-go. That is a bad move. Why would you sit out of these games when you can prove yourself? And clearly, yes, Mikey has done it some of these games, but again, a lot of people have been saying Vertical Prep is not playing against the best competition in the country, so why be afraid to go out there and prove your worth? Now, I'm not saying go out there and play every single game, but if you play in the most important games and almost follow a blueprint like Amari Bailey, I think number one, you can keep a good ranking, keep good visibility, stay in the media's eye, still be able to play well and not risk injury for a lot of games that don't matter one bit. But sitting out completely is absolutely not the move in this situation. Another possibility technically could be, since we haven't seen Mikey play in those games, is that he's leaving. Now, it's definitely a possibility Mikey could dip, leave Vertical Prep, but it seems like he has a lot of strong ties to the program, and at this point, I'm unsure if he would actually decide to leave. Now, you guys know I'm always a fan of hoopers trying to go to better programs, and I don't think Vertical Prep is the best program out there. They've definitely had their games where they play against top competition, but I think personally Mikey could do better, and maybe going to one of these top programs, the Oak Hills, the Montverts, the IMGs, even the prolific preps, one of these top schools, I think could even be a better move for Mikey, because again, he's going to elevate his game being on the same team with a lot of these top ranked players. And then hopefully we would even see Mikey maybe step into something like EYBL. Now, of course, it's going to be his last year able to even play in the Nike's EYBL circuit. And I think that would be a great move because, again, you have to keep your tools sharp, and just sitting there and training, yes, you can get better, but there's something about getting in-game experience that I think Mikey must have. And especially going to one of these big time programs, you're going to sharpen that sword, you're going to keep your skills sharp, and I think that's what's really going to make Mikey and really take his game to the next level, again, because his goal is to make it to the NBA, not be an influencer. And yes, of course, you can get a bag, and I'm saying get your bag being an influencer, but if you want to get to the NBA, there's a certain amount of dedication and just continuous grind that you have to have. And playing in games, at least some of the games, the most popular, at least the ones that are really going to get you better and you're playing against big time names, is definitely essential to making that move to get better. Some people even think Mikey is just overall distracted, and that's the real reason why he's not playing. Of course, we've seen the news with him and Jada Williams, and of course, I think that can get in the way, but you have to look at it as though Jada definitely is a hooper. She's out here one of the top ranked females in her class and is out there training and even working and getting in the gym with R2 B-Ball and Mikey Williams. And if they're working out together, man, that's one of the best things that Mikey could have done. And I said this previously, it's one of the best things, because if she's on the grind and she's a hooper just like him, it's really the best situation, best case scenario, because they're both going to be grinding and they both know they want to play in college, get those college scholarships, and just try to get to the next level, continue to get better, so that of course her goal is probably get to the WNBA and Mikey's is to get to the NBA, and there is no better situation than that. Of course, we've even seen the rumors of Mikey Williams going to USC, also other rumors talking about him going to HBCU schools, and there's a lot of news and a lot of information going around. Now, Mikey really hasn't said much about going to HBCUs in a very long time. Of course, he reopened up his recruiting list and let other schools recruit him and did not limit his schools, but it seems like he's interested for sure in playing in San Diego or maybe even playing in North Carolina. Now, of course, there are definitely some schools in those areas that would love to have Mikey on the program, but USC was where he made a recent visit to. And as of right now, Mikey has put out multiple tweets stating that his intention was going to go to college. Now, that's what it seems like as of right now. I think the likelihood of him taking a different route, maybe going overseas or even somewhere like the G League, or even taking just that time off to train and try to get to the NBA, or of course, the other one, he could go straight from high school to the NBA, which I even think is unlikely. Just seeing how he develops overall, I think there's very few hoopers can even make that transition going from high school straight to the NBA, but he definitely seems like he's about to go to college, and I think USC could be a good choice, but a lot of schools are recruiting him. I think he's probably getting offers from every school known to man who's going to offer him, but I just wonder how he's actually going to transition, because again, like we always say, you can be the man in high school, but that means nothing when you get to the college level, because everyone was the man on their team, and Mikey is no exception. Although yes, he is a celebrity, has the clout, has a ton of money, getting money, doing everything he can on the court, but it means nothing. We've seen a ton of hoopers, man. We've seen people struggle at the college level, so hopefully he can make that transition. Now, if you're a fan of Mikey Williams, you definitely won't want to miss this Amani Bates and Sharif Cooper update, because this is scary and things are not looking good for Amani at all. Now click that video on the screen because this is wild.